Greetings and salutations, everybody. My name is Karin, and I am the teen librarian at Crystal Lake Public Library. And for all of you teen crafters out there, I have a special treat. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make an all no-sew t-shirt tote bag. Let's get started. The first item you are going to need is a t-shirt you no longer wish to wear, a pair of sharp scissors, and then optionally, you can have a plate or another object with a rounded edge to help guide you in cutting later, and a Sharpie to help you draw the lines that you wish to cut upon. Step 1. Time to cut off the arms. You can do this one of two ways. You can either cut off each arm individually and then fold it over to have one act as the guide for the other, or you can cut them both at the same time. This will lead to a more identical cut, but depending on the type of fabric you have chosen, it may be too thick to cut through. For this fabric, since it is a lighter cotton, I will be doing both of the sleeves together. The hardest part for this step is making sure that everything aligns just right. Since it doesn't matter about what the rest of the t-shirt is doing, I am just going to be focusing on the sleeves themselves, flattening them and aligning them just so. I'm going to flatten all of the fabric on the side of the tote so it is a clean cut. I'm double checking to make sure the arm seams line up. And then I'm going to cut just inside When you get to the armpit section, I like to go a little bit more horizontal and not follow the curve so much, because that's going to be the corner of the bag. So I'm going to go ahead and unfold this. As you can see, it's now a muscle tee looking item. And see how we went up a little bit on the sides here? The bag is now going to have a wider set base as opposed to a sloping base. Now is the time to tidy up any marks that you want changed. For this next step, go ahead and turn your t-shirt inside out. And lay again flat on the table. For step 3, we are going to be cutting out the neck hole. For this, I am going to be using the assistance of a Sharpie. I want the straps thin enough where it's not clunky to hold, but thick enough that they will hold the items I put inside. I also want to keep in mind that the lower I go, the longer the straps will be. I can choose to keep it a short tote and just follow the neckline if I wish. For my base shape, I'm going to take a plate and determine how wide I want my straps. And then I'm just going to lightly draw a Sharpie over that. So that's my baseline. From there, I'm then going to carefully start cutting just outside of that line. There we go. And more often than not, you will get rid of the tag, so that's not something you have to worry about. And then I'll just show you what the other side looks like. It should be almost exactly the same. Step 4 is then deciding how deep you want your bag, and also if you want the frills on the bottom to be on the inside of the bag or the outside of the bag. If you wish to have the frills on the inside of the bag and not be seen, leave your shirt like this. If you wish to see them, go ahead and put the shirt right side out and then continue making the tassels from there. So I know for a fact that my design is right up at the top here. I want this to be a pretty deep bag. So I'm going to go ahead and take my Sharpie and decide how deep I really want it, making sure to keep at least 3 to 4 inches on the bottom for the ties themselves. So I believe I'm going to keep it about that long. And I'm just going to make a dashed line across it. It does not have to be perfect. Step 5, we are now going to be cutting all of the threads to create our tie bottom. Starting at the very edge, you want them to be about an inch in width and go all the way up to your line. On both the left and right side pieces, you also have to cut a slit down the side so it becomes 2 separate pieces. Just like so. Go ahead and cut all the way across, making sure to cut both the front and the back layered on top of each other so they match up when we have to tie them later. Step 6. Now that we have our fringe done, we're going to focus on the first 3 fringes right over here on the left. We're going to start by making a double overhand knot on each one of these. Much like tying your shoe, you're going to take each piece, cross them over, and put one through. Just like crisscross applesauce. And you're going to tie it real tight. And you're going to do that a second time. Now leave that one be. Move on to your second one. And then move on to your third one. It's all right if it starts to bunch a little. That's what's going to create the rounded bottom and keep it tight. We now have 6 strands. To fill in the holes in between each of these frills, we're going to have to tie the frills together. So you're going to take the right strand from the first couple and the left strand from the second couple, and you're going to crisscross applesauce those 2. 1 and 2. And then we're going to move over and take the right strand from the second couple and the left strand from the third couple and crisscross applesauce with those. And you're going to complete those steps all the way across the bottom. Ta-da! Now that you are done with all of your tassels, you should see that all these tassels created this tight little cinching line to create the bottom of the bag. So for those of you who opted to have your image on the outside and your tassels on the inside, it's time to flip that bag right side out. And there you go. A no-sew t-shirt tote bag.